winner, that's true. She don't even take L's, eating alphabet soup. Mayday, mayhem, 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 mayday, mayhem. She a cool black nerd, always been smart.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Mayday Mayhem podcast, and it's also Mayday Mayhem streaming. Now, I know you're looking at the title, and as the title is stating, we're looking at the shooting that happened in Texas and how it is so many different stories behind this mass shooting. Now, I spoke briefly about it a couple of days ago, about 2 days ago. And it was when it first happened, and it was so many stories around this suspect. And it was so much going on. We just couldn't understand. It was swirling things about the suspect, may have even been it was an accident. He may have been chased. Then he may have allegedly shot a guard that was already at the school. But then come to find out, lies have been told throughout this whole situation that we've been through. It has been lies told. And the lies that have been told is there were police there. The gunman could have been stopped sooner. Now, when it first came out, when everything first came out, they were saying it was a shooting. All right, that's fine. Now they've come up with a whole different timeline. First, they were only there. The shooter was maybe there 15 minutes allegedly. Then it went up to 30 minutes. Then it went up to 45 minutes. Now it has went up to over an hour. That 19 children, well, more than that because children did survive. We're going to say at least 24 children were locked into this school. And as you can see, I have a map of everything because it first kicks off that he shot grandmama. All right. Remember that. Remember he shot grandma. Then they had 2 witnesses at the nearby cemetery, which is across the street from the school, allegedly. Okay. It's right there by the school. As we can see in the map. And see, I had something to say about that truck. Because remember, I told y'all it was an accident. They had reported a gnarly accident. Now, it was alleged. Remember, if you go back and listen to my first video when I first spoke about this, I was asking who was the 911 callers because it was alleged. They kept saying they called 911. They called 911. And it was always wondered, well, who was the they that called 911? Who was it? Now we know that the alleged they were talking about is possibly the 2 people, the 2 witnesses at the nearby cemetery that was allegedly fired at. This was not told during the first time when it came out. This was not told. This was not spoken about. It was never anything about him shooting. It was always, we have a witness saying that they saw him going towards the school after the accident with a big backpack. That's all you hear with those incidents. So with that being said, what the hell happened? Now even more conflicting evidence. Well, not even evidence, it's all stories. Now, even more conflicting stories have come forward where they have been pretty much stating that allegedly a teacher, okay, allegedly a teacher propped open the door to allegedly get a phone. That's what they're alleging. Alleged to get a phone. And she was one of the people allegedly to call 911. He or she, the teacher, was called 911 and said she saw an accident allegedly, and that it was a guy with a gun. Now, again, the stories continue to change. They change so much. The first story, we never heard anything about him shooting outside of the school, at the school, but now we're even hearing more details of the shooter that he actually shot in the school outside. And even the governor, everyone at this, oh, y'all don't understand, this story is so fucking confusing because it's so many contradictions to the story. Only thing that we know for sure that 19 little children are not going to be with their families. We know 21 people altogether are not going to be with their families. Well, actually 22, because one of the teachers that was killed in the mass shooting, her husband alleged went to her site to where they had made the little crosses. He brought flowers to there, and he allegedly went home and had a massive heart attack and passed away due to him being heartbroken that his wife, which was a teacher, that was taken from him. So again, it's so much with the story. And even the governor has said how he was literally, he didn't know. He didn't know that he was allegedly lied to. And I find this hard to believe. Also, when it first came out, they said it was a guard that was supposed to be staffed there. And it was a guard that was supposed to, that was this border patrol or whatever that was riding through. Now come to find out, the, what do they call them? School response officer. He wasn't even at the school. He wasn't even at the school. So where in the hell was he at? He or she at? Where were they at? Then he allegedly comes up. Excuse me. Had the throat was a little perched. Then he allegedly comes up. And now the suspect is allegedly, now he's allegedly hiding behind a car and has shot at the school. The guard that was supposed to be there from the get-go allegedly drives right past him. And he allegedly goes into an open door. Allegedly now. He goes towards an open door. Okay? That was allegedly propped up by the teacher. Now it seems like they're trying to blame it on the teachers. It's not the fucking teacher's fault. Where were the security? Number one, his ass wasn't there. Now, I talked about that car last time. Look at this car from the front. Y'all have a look at that car. That car is so torn up in the front. It looked like he was chased by someone. It looks as though he even went through he broke the barrier. It looks like he broke the barrier. And as you can even see here, broken pieces of barrier at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. You can even see pieces of what looks like broken barrier, more barrier piece. So is that how the front of this car, which was allegedly even his grandmother's car, that he stole after he allegedly shot her, and then went towards the school. Now, no one's debating that he shot the grandmother. No one's debating any of that. But the debate is over how did the children not get saved quicker? Now, it's alleged these kids was in there a whole hour with this crazy ass person. And I'm not saying crazy as, oh, mental. No. We ain't even play that. Because this man, because 18 years, they classify anything 18 or older adult. This man, young boy, whatever you want to call him, was very sane. He had purchased the weapons, one weapon, on the 21st, and then he went back and purchased another weapon. He had over 1,000 and some rounds that he had purchased. Now, they found 350 rounds on him and 142 spent. And he still had 173 live rounds when they allegedly found him. But see, everyone is so mad and conflicted because of so much misinformation. And these children could have been saved. More children could have been saved. Why do I say that? Because they have even a detailed timeline. At 11:27, okay, at 11:27, the teacher allegedly propped open the door. Then at 11:28, the gunman allegedly crashes his car, and he fired 2 shots he allegedly fired shots at 2 men at the funeral home across the street. Now, there's a funeral home. The crash site is, as you can see on the screen, that we've got a little diagram that we found. The crash site, you see the school, which is right there, right across the street, literally right next to the ditch. He allegedly shot at people at the funeral home. They allegedly called 911. Now, at 11:30, the teacher called 911 to report a crash and gunshots. Now, this was allegedly the same teacher that was supposed to be, hey, Shish Krish, how you doing, baby? It's just insanity, how these children were killed. And I say that because they could have been saved quicker. They could have been saved. This is law enforcement. This, like, that makes no sense. Now, at 11:30, the teacher that they say allegedly, and I say allegedly, opened the door because the door was open. And he supposedly walked through it. He or she allegedly called 911 to report the crash and gunshot. At 11:30, 31, I'm sorry, he started shooting at the school. He started shooting at the school. And he hid behind the car. Now, again, the school resource officer, he was not at the school at the time of the shooting. It was first stated that he was there. Now, come to find out he was not there. Now, where the hell he was at, I don't know. I have no clue. But he wasn't there. Now, he allegedly arrived at the school and he drove past him because he was hidden in between 2 cars. So if he was hidden in between 2 cars, they kind of got it covered up. But where was he hidden at in between these 2 cars? But he was hidden, nonetheless. Between 11:31 and 11:32, shots are fired. Okay? At 11:33, they said they see a gunman entering the side door that had been propped open, allegedly, by the teacher. And he entered into room 111 and 112, which are conjoined. And they found over 100 rounds. Okay? At 11:35, 3 police went in and 2 were gazed. So that's when the 3 police, which is probably that officer that finally arrived, they all went in through the same door that was propped open. And they actually went in and got shot, allegedly. But they were just gazed. They were not hit, but just grazed. Now, they have times that 11:37, 11:38, 11:40, 11:44 shots were fired. Now, 11:51, that's a nice little gap. That's when police and border patrol started to arrive. At 12:03, 19 law enforcement were in the hallway in the classroom, and the doors was locked. At 12:46, 80 minutes after the first call for 911, they actually used the janitor's key to get in. Why in the fuck didn't y'all do that before? Like, why didn't you do that before? Like 30, 40 minutes before? And I don't want to hear they were scared. You're law enforcement. Like, you're trained to go in here to take out shooters. This is what you're trained to do. You're trained to protect and serve. And I understand that no one goes to work being a police officer thinking that, oh, this could be the day. But they do go in thinking that, oh, this could be the day. And you have to stay prepared. But not only that, the most appalling part that came out today is that there were actually 911 calls from inside the room from the children. Yes. The children, and they have recorded calls that the children actually called 911. The first call came in from room 112 at 12:03. Now, don't forget, everything stopped at about 12:46 when they was able to get in. But he had already been shooting at 12, way before then. What they said, the first shots was at what? 11:31, 11:32, 11:33. And a child was able to call at 12:03. Then a child called back at 12:10 saying multiple classmates are dead, multiple people are dead. Then another classmate called and said it's still 8 of 9 of us that are still alive. Then you have multiple calls at 12:19, 12:36, 12:43, and at 12:43 they actually hear. At these times, they hear the police. 19 police is outside. They hear them and they're begging and pleading. Will you please come on and come in and help us, save us? Now, let's not forget, there are parents outside that they were holding back because the parents, like any other parent, of course, like I would be too, I'm trying to get up in there. Many parents even said, yo, hand me a vest and you did, and I'll go in there myself. So I totally understand, and I can agree when you have so many law enforcement around and the parents are literally outside and they hearing the gunshots and they knowing their children are in there. There was even alleged, and I don't know how true this is, but it was even alleged that allegedly they were breaking out windows so quick to get other children out because there were other police officers' children in there. Now, that's allegedly. I don't know that to be true or not, but there are, and you can even hear some of the questions that were asked at these press conferences because every time it's a press conference, something changes. And we just got a lot of misinformation with this case, and the misinformation came from the actual police officers that are supposed to be protecting us. It actually came from the people who we thought protected us and would protect our children and things like that. But like again, When it first came out, they said the back door was open. It wasn't any locks. The parents was outside. They had just had a award ceremony allegedly earlier that day. And the kids were, of course, this is the end of the school year. The kids are being introduced to, their new teachers, their new classroom. My children are going through the same transition right now where it's the end of the school year and they are being and they're being, showed, their new teachers, their new classrooms, who might be there, where their new lockers may be next year, what floor they're going to be on, what adventures they're going to have with their new teachers. So, this is the end of the school year. All these children are excited. And now, come to find out that this shooter had not only planned this, but he had been talking about this on social media up to 8 months prior to this happening. 8 months. He had allegedly tried to get his sister to buy him a gun. This had to been in 2000 when he was 17. He tried to get his sister to buy him a gun, and she, of course, said absolutely not. And which rightfully so. I wouldn't either. He made post on IG over 8 months ago how he allegedly how he wanted to harm people. It's just a lot of he say, she say, and we'll never know the real truth. Because, like, again, where was the what do they call them, resource officers down there in Texas for the children's school? Resource officer. Where was their school security? We just call it security up here, school security. Where was school security, and why wasn't he there? And then when he did get there and he did see the door propped open, or did he see the door propped up because allegedly this shooter saw the door propped open, why didn't he get out and close that door because he knows an active shooter around the area? Or why didn't he just automatically just go in there and close the door? And it's just a lot of tragedy and a lot of questions surrounding this whole situation. Like when I spoke about it the first time, if you go back and listen to the video, I spoke about how it didn't sound right. I spoke about how something don't seem right. Yes, in some things I am a conspiracy theorist, but in this case, no, I believe absolutely cold-heartedly these children lost their lives. These two adults lost their lives trying to save these children, but it could have been not, it could have not happened. Instead of us losing 19 children, we could have not lost any. Or we could have only lost a handful, or it may have been minimal, damage. We could have not lost any lives. They could have all just been minorly wounded if they would have got in quicker. Think about it. You have a madman in the room with a gun, and we're talking about AR-15 style, type of ammunition and armory. What happened? Why wasn't these children looked over? Just like what happened, what was that, a couple of years ago at the Walmart? How a shooter walked up in there. Again, this is at the border. Why does this continue to happen in Texas? Why is this an ongoing thing? I'm all for arming yourself, and because hell, criminals got guns. So I'm all for making sure law-abiding citizens arm themselves and make sure that you know gun safety is practiced and maintained throughout the home and all this, that, and third. I'm all for that. Excuse me, I had to take a drink. But however, I don't understand how is it that we have law enforcement, 19 of them outside the door for one person, and you were able, because that was always my next question, because they said he locked the door. He was able to lock the door. Why didn't y'all get the key before then? Why did it take almost an hour to get the key and have riot gear to go in there and not to get him and subdue him? Why did it take an hour? Why did parents have to say how they wanted to go in and get their own children? Why? No one can answer that question. And I'm trying to figure out, how is this? Because again, I still go, like my mama always said, you always go back to when you first heard the story. When the first story first came out, we heard it was even accusations that he was allegedly chased by the police. So that's what I'm saying. It was so much misinformation when all this happened, because allegedly he was being chased. And that's what caused this car accident. Because that accident, again, myself being in a car accident, a very severe car accident I was in, to the point of where I have a plate and 4 screws in my neck. But don't let that fool you. I'm still from the west side of Chicago. Don't get it twisted. No, but seriously, I sustained a very serious car accident many years ago, and my car was not nearly as bad as this car. I'm trying to figure out, how in the hell did he get up and walk away from that car without having a broken leg, a broken arm, a broken ass, a broken something? Because it looks like he may have driven through this, and maybe even, it looks like if you look closely, it may even be the airbag is deployed, and maybe he came forward, because if you look behind, you can literally see pieces of the little rail that looks like it's broken from the back, and you can see pieces that looks like he went through that little ravine. I've never been to Texas. I don't know how the ravines are there. They look like somewhat like the ones we have here, but some of ours, we don't have like guardrails against them. There are no rails. It's just open road. So I'm not sure. I will have to ask some of my viewers from Texas, if you're listening, is this common? Because if you know parts of Illinois, we don't have those. We don't have rails. It's like, you better watch the road. So with the damage he sustained from this accident, and they did find 922 ammunition at the crash site. So he was not able to take all his ammunition, because it's alleged that he bought over 1,000 some worth of ammunition. And with all that, you see the damage to that car. It's unacceptable how he walked away. So again, he had to come down this little right here. The police car is up there. The truck, he had to come straight down. That's the only way I can see it. And he allegedly shot at two witnesses right there at the nearby funeral home. Not funeral home, across the street. And as you can see, everything is in close proximity of each other. And he was walking outside firing at, he entered Gerald, that's where he door is where he entered at. My thing is, if the security drove past there, now allegedly security drove past right past him, he was crouched down, hiding behind the car. Why didn't security or this school resource officer, this SRO, why didn't he see that door open and instantly close that door immediately? I'm trying to figure out why. Because it's alleged that the gunman went through there and he led the teacher to the classroom and everything, and then he shot the teacher and barricaded himself in there and went to the next room adjoining classes. Again, a lot of it is not making sense because people are not telling the truth, okay? 21 people lost their lives, and one man had a heart attack from losing his wife. And you mean to tell me no one can say what really happened in this instant to why it took an hour for law enforcement who is trained? And we're talking Border Patrol, Texas Rangers, like this is not no little what I would call what we call like a little rinky dink security company. No, these are people that's allegedly supposed to have these things with them. Was this quote unquote security officer for the school? And I only say security officer, which is the still school resource officer. Was you thinking that it was the last few days that you would slack off or not? Or did you go to get something to eat? Because if you look at the time, was it lunchtime? Did you go and get something to eat and then you figured you would be right back? Because again, allegedly there was a award ceremony earlier that day. So some parents were there to see their kids get awards. And some parents, again, were able to hear the gunshots from the school. So that's how the parents got there so quickly. I can honestly say that my daughter's school is close enough to me that if I was to hear gunshots, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm up and I'm running out my house straight to the school. I'm going to that school to figure out, make sure that my kid is okay. What's going on? Is this at the school? Is it away from the school? Is the school on lockdown? And again, I live in a small suburb near Chicago, and we have lockdowns here. They do lockdowns. They will lock it down in a minute out here. They will have such shockingly lockdown. We did a lockdown today, and they'll tell us we did a lockdown. It has been several times in the past before COVID that I had picked up my children and the school was literally locked down. They wouldn't let parents near it. They wouldn't let us anywhere near the school. And when I say the school locked down, I mean a fly's fart couldn't get in or out that school. So again, how was this back door allegedly propped open by a teacher? And then he goes in through that door after he done shot at them. He done shot at the school. I'm sorry. Do you see? It doesn't even sound right. It's so many conflicting stories and so much misinformation out there. And honestly, y'all can't say this misinformation is on them conspiracy theories. You can't say that because the misinformation has been given by law enforcement, by the same people who we think is supposed to protect us and supposed to look out for us. It's the same people. Like seriously, how can this keep happening? How? And it's the misinformation that's so appalling. It's the not knowing the truth. It's these 19 heartbroken parents and these two other heartbroken families of the adults that was killed, and all you can tell me is that law enforcement did not follow protocol. You goddamn right, law enforcement didn't follow protocol. Because if they followed protocol, we would not have 21 deceased people. It wouldn't be that many. It really wouldn't. And it's astounding how this keeps happening. It seemed like the people that we hold in charge to help us are the ones that's trying to hinder us. Just like here in Chicago, Cook County, there are over 1,000 missing children that are supposed to be in the custody of DCFS. And for one reason or other, they're not. Almost 120 are reported missing a week, and only maybe 4 to 10 are actually found. And we ain't talking no teenagers that's 16, 17, 18 years old. No, we talking 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old kids. And when the police do find these kids and try to make contact with caseworkers and reunite, allegedly the caseworkers don't answer phones. Again, not doing the job. Now allegedly it was a center that was over here, 5001 South Michigan, and it's been closed for 2 years. And so, it's about 4 police officers, detectives that work these missing children cases. And so, some of them are left to babysit these kids. Because they can't just let them go to the streets, or just, you have to watch them until they get to watch over them, make sure they're safe, that they're stable. Because some of them run away because they are neglected in foster care. Some of them run back home to the parents that they were taken from, because again they are neglected in foster care. And this is not all caseworkers. I know a lot of caseworkers that do not do the job, but some caseworkers are only there for the check. Let's be real. They're only there for a check. And it's sad. It's really sad. Now, DCFS did reach out to county sheriff's department, everything like that, for these missing children, and told them that the other building at 1911 South Indiana is open 24/7 to intake children, and they even gave them a new DCFS number to call, that a hotline that they say is open 24 hours a day. But of course, miscommunication, misinformation. The Cook County Sheriff's Department is saying no one ever gave us this information. We didn't even have a number. Anytime we found a kid, we was told just to contact the caseworker. So again, you have lines of miscommunication, and it seems that when it comes to these children or any kids, it's a lot of miscommunication. And you can actually find this article on Fox 32, and it was actually published on 5/25/2022. So this is not an old article. This is only an article that was published a few days ago. It really was. So that's what I'm saying. The people that we put in charge to protect us, and the people that we put in charge to make sure things are supposed to go the correct way, are not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not. Because if there was, it would not have been. Now, this is so mind-boggling. Thank you for the likes up. Thank you. I do appreciate them. They are much, much appreciated. Thank you. Now, this literally just hit my mind. We lost 19 children, okay? And it was allegedly 19 police officers in the hallway for one fucker with a gun. It was one officer per child that was killed in the hallway, waiting to go in. But we had to use the janitor's key. What took so long to get the janitor's key? Why the hell did it take so long to get the janitor's key? That's something that should have been had no sooner you walked up. As you can see, like again, I've seen big schools. Um, this is a nice size school. This ain't no little school. It's a nice size little school right there. That's a nice size school. So why was it only one guard there? Now this is a elementary school. So what? Elementary is what? Kindergarten or what? Pre-K through what? 5th grade? Because what they go to what they call junior high from what? 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So we're going to say what? Pre-K to 4th, 5th grade. Okay. That's what we're going to say. It's right here. And if you can see, that's a nice ass school. Why was it only one guard there? Can someone please tell me that? Why was it only one? And then again, I'm sorry, I go back to this car. This car is just too much for me. This 18-year-old, him right there, looks like he went through this guardrail right there where you see the back of the little police truck at, the little state truck, whatever. Looks like he went through that guardrail. He told, when you hear the saying, ride till the wheels fall off, he literally broke that car till the wheels fell off. And again, here's the back of it where you can see a piece of the rail by the lower left-hand corner of your screen right here. And you can see the little rail right there. So he tore all of that up. And then he was able to walk across to the school after shot allegedly fired at 2 nearby witnesses. After a teacher allegedly called 911 and saying she actually saw this accident. And this is actually after the teacher said that she actually saw the accident. Call 911. He's shooting at the school. But again, there's no police there. Well, what you call this resource. I call it security. School security. But again, my heart goes out to them 21 families because it was so devastating that even one the teachers, if I'm not mistaken, she had been teaching there 5 years. Her husband went to lay flowers at the site that they had, and he allegedly went home and died from a massive heart attack. And they had been married 25 years allegedly. So, a lot of lives have been shaken up and very much misunderstood and torn up by one person. But you had over 19 police officers that could have took that one person down. And I don't want to hear, oh, well, it was only no. This is what you're trained to do. This is what you're supposed to be able to do. This your training. This is what you do. Oh, well, you're only saying that because you're in Chicago. No, I'm saying this because this is what's expected. Do you understand? We have more shootings than we have days in a year right now. More school shootings. It's so many shootings or mass shootings that it's ridiculous that you can't even keep count. It was allegedly another shooting in Atlanta. It's so many you cannot keep count to the point to where we're having 2 and 3 mass shootings a day. And no one knows why. What's going on? How can we stop it? And let's be real, gun legislation is not going to stop it because you're going to have people that's going to buy guns illegally. You're going to have people that, of course, like some of the guns here allegedly in Illinois is coming from allegedly out of state. So you will have people that are going to supply people with illegal guns. That's not going to solve it. Getting these guns off the street like these assault rifles and AR. If you're not in the military, I don't even see the reason for you having it. But again, you're going to get illegal guns and stuff on the street. That's something that's going to happen. But how can we stop these young kids from just killing people and killing other kids? Like, again, this is an 18-year-old. You know, as much as I talk, this is still an 18-year-old. Now, he's again another problem I have. Y'all waited a whole hour to go in there and kill him. But when it came to this one right here, where his punk ass at? I might have took him off here. That did the other shooting at Tops. Him. Here you go. Him. Y'all took him alive. I still have an issue with that. How y'all take him alive? And he had body armor and stuff on too, allegedly. But y'all took him alive. But this one right here, no. Y'all made sure y'all killed him. But you waited a whole hour after children have been calling 911 for what looks like 12:03, 12:10, 12:13, 12:19, 12:36, 12:43. Damn, they had been calling for a damn near half an hour. The whole time he was in there. And you mean to tell me that y'all couldn't have went in there and got him at any time? They said the last shot fired at 11:44. So the last shot fired was 11:44. And at 12:03, you know, the kids I said was still alive. Right there, we hear him in the classroom at 12:19. A different call from classroom 111. So you have students call from different classrooms, but they said that allegedly the last shot was fired at 11:44. So still, what took y'all a whole hour to go in there and get him? If the man allegedly, according to their transcript, it's everything that I got from their transcript. The last shot fired was at 11:44. Okay? And this is allegedly coming from the gunman. He was shooting at 11:37, 11:38, 11:40, 11:44. That was allegedly the last time he fired shots. Him. So kids is calling at 12:03, 12:10, 12:13, 12:19, 12:36, 12:43. That's a whole hour after his last shot. So what took y'all so long to go in there and get his ass and kill him? Or subdue the suspect? What took so long? And again, it's even alleged that some police went in and got their own kids. It's alleged. There is alleged allegations of that. Now, how true that is, I don't know. But looking at what the background that they're actually having, it wouldn't seem out of the realm. Because even the school officer, he wasn't even in school. Where did he go? Again, all this stuff took place around 11:30, 11 o'clock, 11:28. Was he going to get him something to eat? Was he going to lunch, going to get him something to eat, then came back? Where was he? Why was he not accounted for? So it's a lot of questions that need to be answered. And it may be a long time before we get real answers. Okay? Maybe a long time before we get real answers. So we're going to see what happened within the next. Because all this now has came forward within the past 48 hours. So we're going to see and do an update in another 48 hours to see if anything changed. Have we heard any new stories? because they said they want the FBI to investigate this and figure out to the highest level of degree what's going on. So we'll see. We're going to get ready to end this broadcast for today, but I'm going to give you a preview of what we're going to talk about tomorrow on the broadcast. If you did not know, there was a woman found here in Chicago on an abandoned building, and she was found bound and repeatedly raped. And this was during a time that, we had very warm weather here. And the suspect is allegedly still at large. Could he be one of the people that has been terrorizing Chicago for more than 2 decades? Could he be one of the Chicago Stranglers? We're gonna talk about this tomorrow. And it's astounding how she was found in an abandoned building, and actually how many abandoned buildings are actually here in Cook County. So we're going to get more depth into that tomorrow. So I will, of course, put out a broadcast time to schedule what time I'll be back. It'll be way earlier than this, guys, I promise. So with that being said, if no one told you they love you, I do. I truly, truly do. And make sure you do better today than you did yesterday, and strive for a better tomorrow today. You are precious cargo. No one can replace you. You are one of a kind. It's only one of you. There's no replica. So everyone, please stay safe, stay healthy, stay vigilant, stay aware, and let's send prayers to all these families that have lost their loved ones through all these massive massacres that we have had in America this far. Not just in Uvalde, Texas, or in Buffalo, New York. We're talking about the ones we've had from across the board, sea to sea. And let's just pray for these families and pray for a better outcome, because no parent should have to be a part of a club like this. Like, no one wants to be a part of a club where they have lost their children to someone that was actually able to get a gun. And again, Ramos and Peyton, they was actually able to get this gun. It was legal. It was legal. These were not illegally purchased guns. These were legally purchased guns that these two used to hurt and maim and kill people for no apparent reason. One was a heinous crime against just African Americans, hatred, pure hatred. And this one was, we have no clue, because he's not here to talk. We don't know what was going through his mind. We have no clue. So again, everyone stay safe, stay healthy. And until next time, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, share. We try to not only build this channel, but build a family so we can talk and have these conversations, and more deep conversations and open conversations that need to be brought into the light and into the public eye. So again, thank you for listening. Everyone have a great and safe and happy night. And again, please send prayers to all the children that we have lost across America for senseless violence. Again, thank y'all, and I'll see y'all next time.